Yeah. But basically describes Dominic Mysterio to a T.
I don't know, man. I think the guy's got a massive hog on him.
Any man that only eats chicken nuggets does not give BDE vibes.
That's a power move to me. You know, like walk into a steak restaurant and be like, you know, Luis Chris. Nuggets.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the 5-Star Jobbers Podcast. I'm Cody.
And I have a scratched left cornea, so I am wearing the glasses. I apologize to my adoring fans. You do not get your weekly dose of Stunningly Beautiful in its full glory this week. I will make up for lost time later.
Did the cat have to tell you no again?
Meow means meow.
Exactly. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching and thank you for listening. If you haven't already yet, go ahead and subscribe and follow all of our social media. Like I said before, we are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You can see all of our commentary content as well as our podcast episodes from Season 2 on our YouTube channel. But before we get into other things right now, you know, a lot of things have happened lately in the wrestling world, but there's a couple things that I want to make mention of. If you haven't seen, we want to honor and pay tribute to some legends who have passed away in recent weeks. Kevin Sullivan and Afa of the Wild Samoans. I mean, we've lost both Wild Samoans, like not even a week apart, I don't think.
No, it's more than a week apart.
Well, I mean, but still, like not even a month.
It's been more than a month apart.
But still, like, you know what I'm saying? Either way.
We lost both the Wild Samoans within the same year, and it's almost poetic, you know, that they went so close together.
Yeah.
They've done everything together in life. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
You know, to have a connection with one's brother, you know, with someone on this earth that is that strong, that prolific, to have created so much memory in the hearts of hundreds of thousands of people with your brother, you know, and the family dynasty that they have been a part of creating. You know, not all of us get to go out of this world knowing that kind of a legacy has been cemented. So
absolutely,
you know, rest in power. And then you have someone like Kevin Sullivan, who, you know, Kevin Sullivan was a hell of a worker. Kevin Sullivan was a hell of a talent. But I think that, you know, more so in his career, he'll be known as more of the booker, producer, agent role that he played for, you know, 20 plus years in the wrestling business, you know, and being pivotal to many, many different wrestling storylines, many different vignettes here and there. I mean, the guy worked in wrestling 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s.
Like he's got quite the track record.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, like you want to take some of the people who have had some of the most fundamental effects in the professional wrestling business over the last 50 plus years, and yeah, both of them make their exit from this earth. It's you know, it really is, you know, you can't recreate people like that. You can't recreate anything like that. So, you know, we just we hope that future generations will continue to learn and honor their memories, because we wouldn't be where we are without those two and all the hard work and dedication they've had to the business. So
absolutely. So we want to send our thoughts and prayers and our best wishes to the families of these individuals. I mean, we saw just like photos and stuff from the celebration they had of Sika's passing, and I can only imagine it's going to be another celebration of life for the passing of Afa as well. I mean, like we were talking about before in the previous episode, just the Samoan culture and the way they celebrate someone's passing in someone's life. It's not, I mean, it's a sad occasion, don't get me wrong, just because we want them to be here still. We want them around. But just the fact that you get to celebrate the legacy that they left behind. And I can't think of probably one of a greater legacy than the Wild Samoans have left on the professional wrestling industry. And then, of course, Kevin Sullivan. I mean, like you said, probably one of the best bookers, like talent. I mean, just overall fantastic.
Psychology.
Yes, right, ring psychologist, everything. So we want to send our thoughts and best wishes to the families of these individuals and celebrate the life and legacy of the Wild Samoans and of Kevin Sullivan. If you don't know who they are, go and check them out. These guys are fantastic individuals. They've done so much for this industry. Go and look at their stuff. Go and research them. Find out who they are. Learn about the professional wrestling industry. And like we said before, this is for new fans of professional wrestling and old fans of professional wrestling, or seasoned. I'll say seasoned, so I don't step on any toes. But anyways, thank you guys for watching and thank you for listening. I'm trying not to censor anything. But anyway.
I think there'll be a great celebration at my funeral. Probably for not the same reasons.
I was about to say, it's probably for the opposite reasons,
As long as people are happy, right?
Hey, there's going to be a party at my funeral.
I want to be buried.
I'm going to put the fun in funeral.
Yeah, I'm going to be buried flipped over so everyone can kiss my ass on the way out.
Well, if you bury your ass up, we got a place to park my bike.
I mean, you can shove whatever you want up there. At that point, I won't care.
But anyway, guys, sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Let me be your mule.
But anyway, we want to let you guys know.
I could sell real estate. Like it'd be like a a business. Like, hey, you got anything to hide? Just come to my funeral at this particular date. Just.
Gosh. But anyway, we want to let you guys know some upcoming events that are going to be going on. There's a lot that's coming up in the next few weeks and in next month as well. But first things first, August 25th, Atomic Legacy Wrestling, We Wear the Crown. It's going to be at the Space Coast Convention Center in Cocoa, Florida. VIP entrance is at 4:35 p.m. General admissions is $4.55, and the showtime is $5.25. You don't want to miss out on this event. I'm going to be there. He's not going to be there, so it's definitely going to be a much more fun event.
I'm sorry, you won't get your money's worth from him, but there will be better guests for you to spend your time with. Name them.
We got Jake Hager. We got Simon Gotch. We got Madman Fulton. We got Trevor Lee.
Oh, yeah.
We got Leva Bates. And then also, we've got a very fantastic individual who's going to grace his presence at this event. Should I say his name?
Say his name.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
You were a little slow on that one.
Story of my life.
I've seen that report card. Yeah.
Yeah, my parents won't deny that. Anyway,
How short is an Alabama short bus? Is it like 8-seater, 6-seater?
keep going.
2-seater?
A little bit more than that, somewhere in between.
Yeah, so just basically you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right on. All right,
It was made for me.
Yeah.
But anyway, Atomic Legacy Wrestling, August 25th. We Wear the Crown. Don't miss out on it. VIP is already sold out. So if you wanted to get VIP tickets, I'm sorry, you're too late. Like I said, this is a huge event. It's going to be fantastic. You don't want to miss out on it, but you can still get general admission, I believe. But go and get your tickets now because they are selling like hotcakes. Go get them now.
Hotcakes in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think hotcakes sell like nowadays like they sold in the 90s?
I don't think so. I think they kind of lost their luster.
Well, I mean, you think about like with IHOP and Denny's and Waffle House and Cracker Barrel. There's a lot of pancake makers.
Yeah.
And McDonald's doesn't go as fast as they used to, and the prices aren't as cheap as they used to be.
No. Well, nothing's as cheap as it used to be now. That's a whole other podcast for a different discussion.
Obviously, you haven't spent time with your aunts and grandparents.
Oh, yeah. Well, I still talk to them on the phone. But anyways.
Your aunt's still a $3 special. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, August 31st, Kraken Pro Wrestling presents Thunder Slam. It's going to be at the Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College in Tipton, Georgia. The doors open at 6 and the bell time is at 7. You want more information? Contact Kraken Pro Wrestling on Facebook for more ticket information. Also happening August 31st, the Guardians Legacy presents Collision at the Crossroads at the W.R. Toller K-8 School Gymnasium in Bristol, Florida. Doors open at 6. Bell time is at 7. You want ticket information? Visit hrw.theguardianslegacy.com for more information on that. Also, September 7th, Hope Championship Wrestling will be at Trinity Christian School in Griffin, Georgia. Free admission. It is a free event. You can take in professional wrestling for free. Don't miss out on it. If you want reserved seats, contact 678-588-0508 for reserved seating. Also happening September 7th, The Guardians Legacy presents Second Time Around. It's going to be at the Rosenwald High School Gym in Panama City, Florida. Doors open at 6. Bell time is at 7. If you want tickets and more information on that, visit www.theguardianslegacy.com. And finally, September 14th, a little ways down the road, but DCCW presents Burgers and Brawls 10. They are celebrating 10 years of presenting professional wrestling to the McClenny area, and this is going to be a fantastic event. You don't want to miss out on it. I mean, you get a burger. Who wouldn't want to get a burger at a professional wrestling event?
I'm so steamed that I'm missing this.
And
Darn my stinking adolescent infantile child who has to be having a birthday.
Maybe you can have burgers at her birthday. It won't be the same, but
there won't be wrestling. I mean, there'll be little kids like falling on top of each other, but it's not the same.
Yeah, it's totally different environment. I mean, you'll be there in spirit.
I hate being there in spirit.
Some days I'm glad you're not there in person. But anyways, September 14th, DCCW presents Burgers and Brawls 10, celebrating their 10-year anniversary. It'll be at the Baker County Fairgrounds in McClenny, Florida. Doors open at 5:30. Bell time is at 6:30. If you want advance tickets and more information, contact 904-697-7167. So as you can see, a lot of events are happening. A lot of things are coming up. But speaking of upcoming events, All in London is going to be this weekend on Sunday, August 25th. It is going to be an interesting event. And, we talked about it in the previous episode and just kind of touched on a few matches here and there. But now that they've announced more, I figured it'd be better just kind of do a little bit more of a deep dive into some of the matches that they've got announced now. But
All in, deep dive? What are you talking about me again?
Oh my gosh. But anyway, I figured we'd just kind of do a little bit more, not necessarily predictions, but just kind of talk about these and just talk about the direction that AEW needs to go, or the lack of direction that they've been in as of recent. So, it's just hard to try and buy into what AEW's got right now, just because things are not what they used to be. I get it. They're more focused on the professional wrestling aspect of it. They're not focused on the drama or the storylines part of it as much as WWE is. Like, WWE is hardcore, like, storyline and wrestling here and there. But still, it's a healthy mix with WWE, I would say.
Yeah, that pure wrestling, no storyline, that works out really well for American wrestling promotions. I think I remember the last one that was successful was... oh, wait, no, it doesn't work out in American professional wrestling. Storylines are absolutely integral to a successful promotion. Like, let's face it, nobody gave a crap about WCW until they started telling actual stories.
Yep.
There have been plenty of professional wrestling promotions that have built their careers on just pure wrestling. That's great. That's great for regional wrestling. But when you're on TV, people expect a show. I'm sorry, but that's just the way that it is. Like, look at the UFC. The UFC, when they had compelling characters with compelling actual rivalries and stuff like that, huge absolute sellouts. Brock Lesnar, one of the most big box office MMA fighters of all time. Why? Because he could talk you into the building.
Yeah.
Okay. And now, who's what's their take rate now that they don't have guys sitting there, hyping up matches and talking, and they're just focusing on the fighting?
I have no idea.
Exactly.
I mean, it's nothing interesting right now.
Like,
so we'll go through some of these matches. We've already gone through most of them in the previous episode, but with the addition of new matches, we'll get into these as well. The first one that they added was Chris Jericho versus Hook for the FTW Championship. I mean, here's my take on this. I hate the learning tree bit. I hate it. I don't like it. It makes no sense, and it's not doing anything for the guys that are with him.
Or does it? Well,
let me ask you this. Of the factions that Chris Jericho has put together in AEW, where are they at now?
I don't know. I think it's better than the last one, the Jericho Appreciation Society.
Well, I mean, even then.
This one actually has heat.
Well, even then, they all had heat.
Jericho Appreciation Society had
They
nothing.
had heat, but it was because people hated them.
No.
Like,
They had no heat. Dude, the Jericho Appreciation Society was deader than my prom date, dude. Like
Okay,
it was
Inner Circle.
It was a dead fish, man.
Okay, Inner Circle. The
Inner
first one that he
Circle?
put together. Where are Santana and Ortiz?
Well, they're gone.
Where's Jake Hager?
You're talking about 2 years removed. At the time when they first started, Santana and Ortiz, Pride and Powerful, were hot. And until they started having their own personal issues that had nothing to do with the angle, those guys were, they were cash money.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, they had a name for themselves.
Jake Hager, they haven't used Jake Hager right since day one. That's had nothing to do with Jericho. You got a guy like Jake Hager who, for a long time, and I don't know, maybe still to this day, in Bellator, is undefeated MMA fighter, like a legitimate collegiate NCAA champion. And he wears a bucket hat and he talks about how much he loves his hat.
See, that's the thing that just really ticks me off is that you've got someone at the caliber of Jake Hager and he's not being utilized. AEW, and you've said this multiple times and I completely agree with you, AEW does not know how to use big men.
Nope.
Wardlow, they screwed him so many times. Lance Archer, he is a jobber at this point.
Yep, Keith Lee.
And I love Lance Archer. I want him to be AEW World Champion.
The fact that Lance Archer has been with AEW pretty much since conception,
yeah,
and has never held a world title or a title of significance is that tells you everything that you need to know.
Yeah.
You put the title on a guy like Lance Archer and you have a babyface chase him for a year. Like, come on, And at one point he had Jake the Snake Roberts with him.
Yes.
Like, he didn't even have to talk.
How do you get any better than that? Like, have Jake the Snake Roberts talk on your behalf and you just go and cause mayhem all over AEW? That'd be perfect.
But, like I said, the thing I'm going to say about the Jericho learning tree is I almost wonder how much, is it not working or is it working exactly the way that Jericho planned for it to work? Because people hate it. People absolutely hate it. That means it has heat. Now, does it have the right kind of heat? I don't know. Maybe
that's what I'm thinking. I don't think it does. I think it has the same heat that.
I don't think that this is supposed to be an entertaining heel, though. Like, the thing is like they don't have any really sink your teeth into it heels in AEW. You've got MJF, who is a fantastic heel, but he's such a good heel. It's like Rock in the late '90s, where he was such a good heel that he was so entertaining that you couldn't help but be excited to see him when he came out. So then eventually they had to turn him face. They did the same thing with MJF, and now they've tried to switch him back, and it works because he's a good heel. But it's like he's still an attraction. He's not a heel that gets a face over. And at the end of the day, that's what a heel's job is to do, is to make you root for the babyface.
Right.
The heel's job is not to make you root for the heel. If you have a heel who's getting over with the crowd, great for them. They might sell some merch, but that's not the point.
No.
So I don't know. I everybody says how bad it is, and I'm like, well, does it make you root for the person who's facing Jericho?
Oh, 100%, but not
then
for,
it's
but
working.
Not, but not for the reasons that they're wanting it to work.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing.
Yeah,
in the long run, like Brian Keith is a fantastic competitor.
Yeah.
Love Brian Keith. Big Bill needs to have a mouthpiece.
Yeah, but honestly, Big Bill's more entertaining now than I've ever seen Big Bill. Sans with Enzo.
True. But at the same time, pretty much all of the factions that Jericho's put together, for the most part, since the Inner Circle,
minus JAS, Jericho
they have not
Appreciation
done well.
Society was an absolute failure.
Yes,
Inner Circle was good for a while. It just lasted too long. It should have broken up sooner.
Right. AEW does not do a good job with factions.
No, they haven't done a good job with factions since day one. There's not a single faction in AEW right now that I can tell you had a great run. Not a single one.
Nope.
But as I said, that's Jericho's been this is his third faction. He started with the Inner Circle day one of the first Dynamite. They lasted for way too long.
Yep.
Then you had JAS. It lasted I mean, a day was too long, but it lasted way too long. And now you have the learning tree. Like I said, the learning tree is not good. I don't like it. But the character that Jericho's playing, I mean, he's got so many people pissed off. And good for him. I mean, like, for a guy like Chris Jericho at this point in his career, to be able to find some way to get people actually pissed off at him and want him to lose, it may not be the right kind of heat, but it's the heat you need.
Right. But I just worry that, like, I just feel like it's going to last the same amount of time as the JAS, and it's just going to be another faction that just falls to the wayside and does nothing for anybody involved.
Hey, man, if I'm Chris Jericho and I can continue to convince Tony Khan to pay me what he's paying me to have,
Oh, Jericho's going to make money despite all of that. But Brian Keith and Big Bill, they're going to be the ones that are left out to dry.
Are you saying they're not getting a rub right now?
Oh, they're getting a great rub right now.
Well,
they're
why
rubbing elbows with Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
But at the same time, look at guys from the JAS.
Okay, well
Angelo
always
Parker,
they always suck though. The thing is when they were when they were whatever they were on NXT, did they get any TV time? No, they didn't.
Well, because the idea was stupid.
No, because those guys. Because those guys, they might be good hands, they might be great guys, but when it comes to being on the camera and it comes to charisma and it comes to making a connection with the crowd, those guys suck. Every promotion they're in, they're great workers, but I've never given two craps about a single match, a single promo, anything they've ever done. It's just like, it's not their fault. They're just like, they're born jobbers. Like, figure out your lane and drive it
that way. But
you're going to tell me that Angelo Parker at some point could be anything other than a jobber?
Well, I feel like they could be good tag team champions because, I mean, they're entertaining and they have great tag team chemistry together.
They're more entertaining than everybody else on that roster.
I'm not saying they're more entertaining, but I'm saying they are entertaining.
You've got to be the most entertaining.
But here's the thing: like, they could be a great heel tag team that could be like the sleazy slimeball ones that find a way to win somehow because they have someone as their valet. Like when they had Anna Jay or somebody, just like a female valet that would like cause distractions at ringside. I feel like that would give them the edge to be like those slimeball tag team.
I'm telling you right now, when they had Anna Jay out there, I wouldn't care about them whatsoever. The only thing I was doing was looking at Anna Jay's keister.
But regardless, that was during the JAS when it was dog crap from the beginning. But
they were crap in NXT too. That's why they were let go from NXT. They got picked up by AEW, and the crowd went mild. Nobody cared. And they put them with Jericho to give them a chance. And the fact of the matter is they couldn't get over even with Jericho. Like, I mean, I'm not putting that on Jericho. I'm not going to put that on Jericho. Chris Jericho, you can say a lot of things about Chris Jericho and hits and misses and stuff like that here, but like the fact of the matter is, the JAS was a failure because you can't use 5 pounds of weight to lift 30 pounds of dog crap.
Well, there were still other talents in that group.
No, there weren't.
Daniel Garcia.
Daniel Garcia has sold how many tickets?
Not very many now.
Not very many.
But the thing is,
this is what I do. Yeah. Look at me do this. This is the most entertaining thing.
Whenever he started adopting that was the dumbest decision that he could have made.
Literally, that's the only thing that got him a single person to react to him. Like, his in-ring work is great, but like the fact of the matter is, when everybody's in-ring work is at a 9.5, just being a pure technician in the ring doesn't do anything for you. That's why you have to have a personality. That's why you have to have characterization. That's why you have to be able to talk on the microphone, because you have to assume that everybody in the wrestling ring knows how to wrestle. This isn't the 80s anymore where you got a guy who can only do 4 moves, and you can make him look like a fool because you know how to do things that are done in Japan. Everyone, like, the internet exists now. We've seen Japan. We've seen Mexico. We've seen all the pure wrestling promotions. So pure wrestling is no longer new and novel, and I can be Dean Malenko and be a pure wrestler and not talk, and people will be into that. No, you have to have the whole package now. And Daniel Garcia does not have the whole package. He won't have the whole package. Like, I say it today, so call me a liar. Daniel Garcia will never be a top talent.
Anyways, Chris Jericho and Hook, FTW Championship.
Hook wins.
Yeah, he better win is all I can say. Because if he doesn't, I fully expect him to leave AEW and go straight to NXT.
I hope he does.
Because could you imagine, and I just thought of this like just half a second ago, Hook and Mark Henry's son in NXT.
Nah. That does nothing for me. But, like, Hook in NXT.
Have you seen Mark Henry's son?
Yeah, but I'm not like, there's no connection with those two. Like,
Well, you've got someone who is the son of probably one of the like toughest, meanest SOBs in professional wrestling in Taz. And you've got somebody who is the son of probably one of the best strong men, best like
strongest man in the world two times.
The best powerhouse in professional wrestling in Mark Henry.
Yeah.
You've got Hook and Jacob. Is it Jacob Henry?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
My verdict is always reserved for judgment when it comes to Nepo babies, because right now I think we're rocking a 50% success rate, but like 20 years ago, it wasn't even a 50% success rate. Like, you look at how many, like, for every Ric Flair, how many David Flairs there are, and then now, I mean, like, now he has, there's some redemption with Charlotte. You had Ted DiBiase, and then you have his son, and his son could have been a lot, but then decided, the business wasn't for him.
Right.
There's a lot of,
but there have been exceptions to that.
There are, I'm going to say, but as far as Nepo babies come in, until they've been in the business long enough to actually decide whether they want to do it or if they're just trying to rest on their parents' laurels, I don't really give them a full show. Now, of course, Hook's been in it. Hook's been working it. I would love Hook to go to NXT, but the only problem is that Hook don't have the look. Even today, even by today's standards, that boy needs a lot more meat on his bones to have a chance in WWE. At his current stature, the only place that's going to try to treat him seriously is AEW.
Well, and I think if he makes that switch to WWE, then he'll get to that point. Because, you look at what Jacob Fatu did before he got to WWE. Dude got, like, shredded.
Oh, yeah.
In, like, how long? Like,
yeah.
It didn't take him very long to get to that level.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'd always kind of make a difference in what it takes to.
Well, plus, look at
cut. But see, right now you're talking about cutting versus adding, and like we can have an entire conversation about this. I will always argue that it is 10 times harder to add than it is to cut. Like I mean, you wouldn't know this about me from this physique that I have now.
I think we would.
But when I was when I was in high school, I graduated high school at a trim 160. And standing at 6 foot tall, that's long and lean.
Oh, yeah.
And I was 160 because I spent 2 straight years, junior and senior year, doing nothing but being in the gym for 2 to 3 hours a day, eating detour bars with 20 grams of protein 3 times a day, plus a peanut butter protein shake.
Yep.
And, as all you can eat barbecue you can find at a Sonny's near you.
They're not sponsoring us.
The problem is I kept eating that after I got out of high school and was no longer burning, 5,000 calories in a swimming pool or on a lacrosse field. But adding weight and the science behind it nowadays is a lot better. So there is a lot more. But adding weight is, I say all the time, is so much harder than to cut weight. Cut weight, it is what it is. Fasting, you can call it starving yourself.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do. Like if you don't eat and you exert a lot of energy, you will lose weight. Now the question is the right weight or whatever, but whatever, you'll lose weight.
Yeah.
Like you look at Gunther and he says, like, what's the trick? It's just eating clean.
Yeah.
Like, just no more eating food you like. Like, food is fuel and no more, no less.
Right. Yeah,
but as far as
we've gone on a detour here, but Chris Jericho and Hook. Hopefully, Hook wins and gets his FTW championship back, and then
don't ever cut me off again.
Hey, I'm trying to keep it under an hour here. All right.
Listen, I've had a lot of girls ask to keep it under an hour, and I tell them it's going to be what it's going to be.
You're a filthy man, John.
57 minutes is 57 minutes.
Anyway,
And 3 minutes is 3 minutes.
The next match that was announced was the London Ladder match. It's going to be for the Trios Championship.
So what kind of a ladder match is a London ladder match? Is it going to be a ladder with like? Does the ladder have a break for tea time?
I don't know. I guess it's like
makes it a
I think if
London-
they try and put a bridge together like they do before, like they do that bridging spot where they put the top of the ladder in one section and they put the other part in between the ropes.
So
I feel
London
like it's
Bridge
gonna
is
break.
falling down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, the Patriarchy, House of Black, Bang Bang Gang, and then an unannounced team. Not really sure who it's going to be. I mean, I know you've tried to done your research on it, but I genuinely, and I feel bad about this, I hadn't watched AEW this past week to keep up with what's going on right now, so I'm kind of going into this blind. But I feel like there's not really any team that I can think of off the top of my head that would be a big pop for them right now, unless they try and pull somebody from New Japan or somebody from ICW or somebody like that, somebody that has ties to the UK in some way. I know you had mentioned possibly Aussie Open, but
Yeah.
I mean that's a tag team, and of course Ospreay's not going to join Kyle Fletcher at any point. Kyle Fletcher's doing his deal with the Don Callis family.
Yeah.
So-
yeah, I mean, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I don't know. It just, to me, it doesn't make sense to have a mystery partner at your biggest event if it's not going to be the return of some, a group that's been gone for a long time that's beloved, or the appearance of a team that's going to have a definite pop. Like, but then again, AEW is stupid. They don't use basic fundamental booking ideas like make the crowd excited to see somebody.
Yep.
So I mean, look, we could see any Tom, Dick, and Jane from ROH or AEW Dark or whatever they consider to be something that is exciting that's not. I'm trying really hard to want to watch this, but I'm still. I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch this.
Same. I mean, I'm just going to get the notifications on Bleacher Report as it's going on live, and so I'm just going to go from that.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, this ladder match just doesn't really. I don't see any big implications with this. I mean, I get the Patriarchy is doing their thing right now, and Christian Cage is doing a phenomenal job with his heel work, but I wish the House of Black would go to WWE, or at least Malachi Black and Murphy. Or can't,
just
I mean,
just Malachi Black or Malachi Black and Birdie King.
I mean, either one would be great. But
Once again, Murphy's one of those where it's like he's a great in-ring worker, but tell me the last time that you cared about a Buddy Murphy match.
I can't think of one, but still, I feel like
Also,
they have
the
been
fact
very
that
underutilized.
also
in
the
AEW.
fact that he gets to put it to Rhea Ripley on a daily to nightly basis. He doesn't need any more favors in this earth. God's already given him more than he deserves.
Exactly. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I'm going to say that the Patriarchy walks away the winners on this, but if not them, then probably the Bang Bang Gang or whoever the mystery trios tag team is. But
The Midnight Express. The Rock and Roll
I was
Express.
going to say the Rock and Roll Express, the Fabulous Freebirds.
The Fabulous Okay, they're all dead.
No,
That
all
one,
of them.
that one. There's one. He's not a three-man team by himself.
Well, still.
It's a very sick joke.
Oh, so you can do it and it's okay, but when I do it, oh no,
You gotta
Cody
know-
went there.
You got to know where the line is, Cody.
You jump the line every single episode. I don't want to hear anything from you.
I'm sorry, people. He's not handling himself correctly today.
Oh my gosh, you're such a douche. But anyway, then we got the triple threat tag team match: FTR, the Young Bucks, and the Acclaimed. Honestly, I could care less about this match, honestly, because I
Yeah.
feel like I've seen.
Well, we've
all
seen
these.
FTR versus the Young Bucks plenty of times.
Yeah.
Thus, they're adding the Acclaimed as if that's going to make it all better.
I like I said, I couldn't care less about this match, honestly. Nothing about this excites me. Nothing about this makes me want to go, oh, I can't wait to see who's going to win this. Like, I'm not bought into this one.
There's going to be a lot of gaga.
Yep.
There's going to be a lot of false finishes.
100%. There's going to be ringside interference.
Yep. And it'll probably go at least 30 minutes.
Yeah. Or it'll probably be the double main event.
Yeah. As long as the song doesn't keep playing, for an hour and a half into the match, I'll be happy with that.
No, that's not. The Blackpool Combat Club's not in this one, so we don't have to worry about that.
Never say never, my friend. Never say never when the Bucks are involved.
True. Then Toni Storm versus Mariah May.
One of the few matches that actually seems somewhat entertaining.
Yeah, like this is one of the only ones that I care about at all. Like they've done a great job with the storyline of building this up, as we've said before in the previous episode. I mean, I'm fully looking forward to this match. I mean, this is like one of the only one or two matches that I would be interested to see out of this whole event. But I mean, we've already talked enough about that one. Mercedes Moné and Britt Baker. I honestly don't really care that much about this match. Honestly, I feel like I'm not a huge fan of Mercedes Moné. I mean, I don't know. The only thing I will say is that, because I know that I talked about this before we started recording, but if you haven't watched the Busted Open podcast or Busted Open Radio with Bully Ray and all those guys, go and listen to his thoughts on Camille.
Yep.
The heavy for Mercedes Moné.
Yep.
She needs to be booked the exact same way that China was booked.
Yep.
She is the perfect one to be AEW's version of Rhea Ripley.
Yep.
She is the heavy for Mercedes Moné, and she needs to be that way.
Yep.
She does not back down to anyone.
Nope.
So when she started backing up from Britt Baker, I was like, you just killed any sort of power or momentum that this person had.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know, but again, this is AEW we're talking about. They do poor booking. They don't know how to book people correctly.
Yep.
You disagree with everything I'm saying right now?
Yep.
Yes. Okay, LA Knight.
Yeah.
So then MJF and Will Ospreay. I know you think Ospreay's going to win this, but I still feel strongly that MJF will walk away with the victor.
It's a way to go.
Because I mean, think about it this way: is Ospreay over in the UK?
Yeah.
Is it necessary for him to win a match in his home country?
Depends on your philosophy of booking.
Well, and that's the thing. Ospreay is over anytime in the UK. Mm-hmm. MJF is over in the UK.
Yeah, but not as much as Ospreay.
No, not as much as Ospreay, but at the same time, like MJF is going to get over just by being MJF, because fans in the UK, whether they want to admit it or not, they love MJF.
So I think you're looking at it from the wrong perspective. You're looking at it from the old school booking mentality of that he needs or you think that I'm thinking that MJF needs to lose to Ospreay because Ospreay is the hometown hero, right?
Isn't that what you said in the last episode, or like the inclination you were making?
It was a point that I made, but there's also another point that I've made too that you obviously weren't listening to because you're too busy thinking about other things like, I don't know, cake and
Hey, there's nothing wrong with cake.
I'm a pie man myself, like The Rock.
To each their own. Mm-hmm. But anyway, go ahead.
I've also heard that you like strudel.
Need to check your sources, buddy.
But the other, very wise and genius point that I made is that why would you have MJF win? Like it's not about MJF. It's not about Ospreay winning because he's the hometown boy. But why would MJF win? Because if MJF wins, then he continues being a middle tier champion. And is that where you want MJF to be?
In the long run, no. I would love for him to be the world champion, but now I don't think is the time for him to be world champion. I would love for him to dethrone Swerve.
Well, then when Swerve is done with Bryan Danielson, who's next?
So that's going to be whoever the winner is from the Casino Gauntlet match. And we'll get into that here in just a little bit. But
how appropriate would it be for Wardlow to win that and then give it to MJF?
They're not smart enough.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it would be phenomenal. But AEW is not that smart in their booking.
Yeah.
We, on the other hand,
We're very smart in our own homes
Exactly.
when nobody else is home
That's right. When it's just us.
and the cat's asleep.
But no, I mean, but anyway, moving on from MJF and Will.
I'm just
Ospreay.
saying. My thing is I get what you're saying. Like, it would be a great swerve to the crowd for MJF to win and get booed in Wembley. The thing is though, then MJF's got to continue carrying this title, and he's got to lose to somebody, at some other pay-per-view, and you're handcuffing yourself. Now, granted, he could go after the world title even with the North American title or the United States title or whatever,
Right.
the American
title.
the American title that he's calling it. There's nothing that stops him from doing that. But I don't know. Honestly, I just feel like even the morons that are making decisions at AEW, and I say that very sparingly because I know there's a lot of brilliant minds back there, but the fact of the matter is it can't be them who's making this decision. It's got to be stupid idiots like Tony Khan, who's playing real life action figures with daddy's money.
Yeah.
At this point, Kenny Omega's everything that makes Tony Khan grab his little 2-inch pincher at night and start going Allah Akbar. So the fact of the matter is that I think Ospreay's going to win. Ospreay's going to win. He's going to get the title, and then they say they'll be able to put Max back in the title picture. They don't have to put him right immediately back in there, but he starts going back for the title picture. It just doesn't make sense to have Max come back, hold a mid-tier title, and carry it for a long period of time. It kills his heat.
Well, he's going to have heat regardless, no matter what he does.
Yeah, but it still can kill your heat.
I don't know. But
Improper booking. I don't care how good of a talent you are. Improper booking can kill the best talents in the world. Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Ringmaster, The Rock, Rocky Maivia, Triple H, the Connecticut Blue Blood. Need I go on?
No, you're good. But I mean, yeah, I get it. But in talking about the Casino Gauntlet match, I don't even think they've announced anybody for this match that I know of. Again, like I said,
who else is left on the roster?
Pretty much everybody from Ring of Honor.
There you go.
And all the mid-carders.
Brian Cage will be in it.
Yeah,
maybe
Brian Cage
Wardlow will be in it.
If AEW is smart, they will have Wardlow win this match.
Yep.
Or better yet, have Lance Archer win this match.
Yeah, have a big guy win this match and have a big guy go up against Swerve and have somebody who's believable to beat Swerve. Yeah, that's that. To me, that's fish and barrels. But
then again, this is AEW as well.
Yeah.
But then Jack Perry and Darby Allin, they just announced it's going to be a coffin match for the TNT Championship. I mean, yeah, that's my reaction to this.
Try to have a match where you don't need stipulations in order to walk people in. Then you can consider yourself a professional wrestler. Until then, you're a backyard wrestler. You're a stunt man. You're nothing. I don't mean to sound like an old school curmudgeon, but there is something to be said. If you can't put on an entertaining match by itself without having ridiculous stipulations and literally coming to the edge of death in order to be creative,
then you really need to look at your style and you need to look at your career and just think, what am I doing?
Yep.
Because you're not going to have longevity. Darby Allin is not going to have longevity. Jack Perry's not going to have longevity if he keeps going at the rate that he's going right now.
No, and still you don't make yourself learn how to tell stories in the ring. So how does that make you a better wrestler?
It doesn't.
At the end of the day, Jack Perry and Darby Allin, they've been doing this for a while now. I've seen it. I don't need to see it again. They've got this match at All In, and it's what are we going to see next? I don't know. They've already lit each other on fire. What else is there to do?
Yeah.
Is one of them going to actually die? Am I supposed to be entertained by that?
They're going to have a bomb there or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so stupid. But anyway, and then Swerve Strickland and Bryan Danielson. I say that I've been saying Swerve should win this, but because it's Bryan's last match, or it's dubbed to be his last match, I feel like they'll give it to Danielson. He'll hold it for a few months and then drop it to somebody,
Yeah.
and then that'll be it. But
I hope not.
I mean, like I said, this is AEW, the business of poor booking, and so I'm sure they'll give it to Danielson on his last hoorah, and then somebody will take him out, and that'll be his send off, and say, "Best of luck in your future endeavors," as John Laurinaitis would say. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you'd call that those are our predictions, but that's just pretty much our thoughts and opinions on how All In is going to go or how it should go. I'm sure people will have plenty of disagreements with us, and I'm sure all the AEW like hopefuls and all the AEW like day ones will be like, "You don't know what you're talking about." But
Come and hate me.
Exactly.
I welcome your stupid Mark comments. If you think AEW is just hitting it out of the park every single week, I would love to listen to a crazy person speak and laugh at them. So please come at me with those comments. Okay.
He looks forward to it on the
I
daily.
love this. I love what professional wrestling is, and I've been a big fan and a big supporter of AEW for years. But this last year has been absolutely freaking awful. Mm-hmm. This, like, AEW at its current instance is worse than WCW ever was. And statistically and financially, you can look it up. AEW's ratings now are lower than WCW's ever were when they closed their doors. Okay? Think about that. The only thing that is holding AEW up is the Khan's money, just like the Jacksonville Jaguars. Except the difference is the Jacksonville Jaguars actually might have some semblance of a hope of a chance of winning a Super Bowl at some point. At this point, AEW has not a snowball's chance in hell of ever beating WWE in the ratings ever again. They did it in NXT. They did beat NXT, but that was 2 years ago. And now it's not happening. And it's not going to happen again unless something gets better.
No.
So, anybody who wants to sit there and defend AEW, congratulations. You can keep watching crap. But hopefully the thousands, the hundreds of thousands of people who love professional wrestling, their voices can be heard. And somebody might tell Tony Khan, "Hey, buddy, we just need your paycheck. We don't need your opinion." Okay? We didn't need Ted Turner running WCW. Eric Bischoff did just a fine job of running it while he ran it. And there are lots of smart people who could run it. Bully Ray, for instance. Every week he gets on and he books AEW better than Tony Khan could ever hope to.
Yes.
Why he's not taking his money and using it to make the product great, I'll never understand it, other than the fact that it's a child
and he's
playing action figures with daddy's money. That's what Tony Khan is to me at this point. He's a little boy sitting in his room with his plastic action figures who he's grossly overpaid, and he's having himself a little fantasy match each night.
Yeah, pretty much. It's all fantasy booking. But we'll just have to see what the fallout is from All In this Sunday and just see if AEW even has a chance after that. I mean, hopefully they have some big returns. Hopefully they have some
I want
big
nothing
names.
more than for All In this year to be like a reset button and for AEW to get
That's what
back
they
into
need.
making more quality content that's compelling, that's entertaining, that makes some semblance of sense.
Well,
Like,
here's the
not
thing.
all
We've said
professional
that.
wrestling has to make sense. We all know this. Wrestling, it's a fugazi. It's kayfabe. We don't need it to be like, it does not need to be a docu-series in reality. It does not need to be Christopher Nolan level of prediction and storytelling and continuity. But I need something a little bit better
We need something to sink our teeth into.
than PBS cartoons level of reality.
Exactly. But we've been saying that for a long time about AEW. We said that at the last Premium Live event, and nothing happened. So at this point, I've lost hope for AEW. Unless they hit the reset button in a major way, I have no confidence that AEW is going to pull out of the hole right now. But we'll have to see how Sunday goes.
I hate pulling out of holes.
But anyway, guys, now it's time for some high spots and botches. I'm going to put that in the soundboard at some point.
Keep saying it. You never do it.
I got to record you, but you're always busy. You're always doing something.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I have 5 kids. I have a lot of bills to pay.
I understand.
This darn wiener of mine has committed me to just a life of poverty.
Look, here comes the consequence.
Consequence. Here comes the consequence from my penis.
But anyway, what you got for high spots this week, man?
You know, I have to say the destruction of Roman Reigns by the Bloodline, or the Bloodline 2.0, that tells me that like I said, that it's the smart decision. You know, I not like it's a high spot. Like, I didn't expect it to happen. Like, it's what needed to happen.
Right.
Like, the last thing that needed to happen was for Roman to come in and, like, destroy this group of 3 guys. Because then all that you'd say is, like, wow, they're complete wusses. They got nothing to them. But the fact that they put it to Roman, now Roman has to recollect himself. Now Roman has to bring back his group. He's going to have to go pay penitence to his bloodline. He's going to need to go talk to Jimmy and talk to Jay. I'm hoping we see the wise man.
He'll make his comeback.
Like, the fact that we haven't seen him yet, I'm quite frustrated.
Well, he hasn't been on TV, but he was at the Fanatics Fest event in New York recently. But still, I get what you're saying. He hasn't been on TV in a while, and I really miss Paul.
Yeah, well,
I miss him so much.
And I think maybe they're dragging that out to get more of a pop from it.
Oh yeah. When he comes out through the curtain, the pop is going to be fantastic. Well, I should say the words that he says before he pops out the curtain. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. I don't know if it's going to be. This is one of those, this is why I'm not a professional. This is why I'm not like I say, I can be an armchair quarterback all day long, but at the end of the day, do you do a backstage segment where Paul comes in and say he'll get the pop in the crowd, or do you get the live pop? I'm not really sure, but like,
I feel
to
like
me,
either one will work. Either one will be good.
But so what I'm expecting is that in this upcoming week there might be a lull. Like, I think the way that Triple H likes to do things, he likes to let him breathe. I would almost expect not to see Roman this upcoming week, and then the following week we'll get Roman with Paul, and then maybe Paul says something to Roman like, you need backup, you need family, you need like something, and then that's when we'll see Roman go and talk to Jimmy.
Right.
And then once he talks to Jimmy, then the whole thing is we can't do this without Jay. And that's when we'll start seeing them, trying to recruit Jay. And Jay will be the hard one to recruit. But at that point, if you've got Roman and you've got Jimmy and you've got Jay, and then you've got the other bloodline, that's your. I mean, we're one off on a War Games, right? Like,
yes.
It's a 4-on-4.
Yeah, 4-on-4.
Okay, so we're one off on a War Game. So I don't necessarily I don't know what else needs to happen for that to become the War Games match.
Well, and it's like you said before. I feel like Sami Zayn will be that fourth man.
I do. My question now is, who's the fourth man for the Bloodline, or for Bloodline 2.0?
I mean, they've got the Tongans. We've got Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. Okay, so you've got you got Jacob Fatu, the Tongans, and so. Okay, so yeah, then you've got your 4-on-4, and I think that's where we're going with this. So that's my high spot, just because it helps to confirm that's where we're going.
Right. My high spot was just the part in Rhea Ripley's promo where she took a dig at Dominic Mysterio. Whenever she was talking about how he put a knife in her bag, and she goes, but you've probably heard this expression before a lot lately. It just wasn't deep enough.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah. But basically describes Dominic Mysterio to a T.
I don't know, man. I think the guy's got a massive hog on him.
Any man that only eats chicken nuggets does not give BDE vibes.
That's a power move to me. Like, walk into a steak restaurant and be like, Ruth's Chris, Give me the nuggies. Like that's basically just putting your hog on the table right then and there and just letting people know like
No, that's putting your little smoky on the table right
well,
there.
I think it has both weight and girth. Like you look at a face like that and you think God had to give him something.
It wasn't girth.
How do you know?
And it definitely wasn't length.
How do you know?
The guy only eats chicken nuggets. I bet dollars to donuts he probably makes grilled cheese at night.
There's some people who make grilled cheese at night that have absolute hogs, dude.
Well, he's not one of
Like
them.
they have it's called hang down syndrome.
I will say though, I don't know if you saw it on Logan Paul's podcast or not on Impulsive, but whenever he,
Did you not get that one?
yeah, I did, but I'm segueing into this just because if I don't say it, I'll lose it.
Hang down syndrome. You got an
Anyway.
extra chromosome and an extra inch.
Anyway, I will give him props for being a heel on Logan Paul's podcast.
That dude, that's my actual high spot of the week.
That was so good.
Was Dom on Impulsive and being like calling him out on his shadow ban from the country of Japan and being like, we should go. Oh yeah, you can't go. My bad.
Man.
You should wear the hat. And Logan Paul straight up went into full get ready for the censor mode.
Oh, 100%.
Like, he got full on Gen Z. Like his butthole, he got butthole tidy. You can't don't talk about that. No, I can throw whatever shade in the world I want at somebody, but when they throw it back at me, that's not nice.
Oh man. I'll give him props for that. That was so
Dude, that was
so
dude,
good.
that was such a low key burn too. Like he had to know what he was doing.
Yes.
But he was just like acting all nonchalant, like
I'm just like, yeah, we'll try and go sometime together. Oh yeah, sorry, my bad.
oh my gosh. But to see, oh my gosh, Logan Paul's face, like, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch his face. He gets so uncomfortable so quick. It was.
I loved every second of that.
It was fantastic.
Oh man.
It's called Schadenfreude when you receive physical and mental pleasure by the anguish of another. And I was at full Schadenfreude, raging rocket,
100%
watching that interview. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
What you got for botches this week?
I mean, there was nothing that stood out as being like terribly bad. I would say the build up with what's going on with the Judgment Day.
See, and I almost put that on there simply because everybody's saying that the Final Testament it needs to be done. But
I don't get where they're saying that because it's like 6 months ago everybody was complaining that, and I'm one of those people with the Final Testament. Carrying Cross is fantastic.
yes.
Like, what the heck are you people talking about? Nobody wants to see Carrying Cross. Do you remember Carrying Cross 2 years ago when he was doing Carrying Cross shit in NXT?
Yeah.
Or 3 years ago, maybe it was. I'm getting old. Maybe it was 5 years ago. I don't know. Time is.
Somewhere around there.
I don't want to. But like Carrying Cross on TNA, Carrying Cross on NXT, Carrying Cross can be a very, very compelling character.
Absolutely.
The lack of compellingness that he currently has is dealing with the crap that he's been given to work with, and finally he's starting to get a little bit of a push, and people are pushing back on it. It's like, dude, this guy is a high quality talent. He can work in the ring. He can work on the mic. He's got a good shtick. He's got a good stable with him. Like, I mean, the only thing that he's got working against him, he's on the same show as the Wyatt Six right now, and that's the only bad booking that there is right now. Is just you've got two monster factions,
right.
You got to either keep them completely away from each other, or eventually they're going to come to blows, and one's going to lose heat from the other. But no, go back to like with the Judgment Day and things like that. I don't know. I have a bad feeling that the new Judgment Day is going to get crushed really quick.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to last very long because we're going to see the turn from Xavier Woods. He's going to turn on Kofi Kingston.
Oh, I mean, we can all see that's coming.
It's going to happen.
But that's the long-awaited end of the New Day.
Yes.
I don't know that has anything to do with the Judgment Day, though.
No, it's all to do with the Final Testament.
Oh, I'm talking about the Judgment Day, though.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm talking about the Judgment. Like I said, I can tell, like, from the way that Monday night went, that we've got Bash in Berlin coming up.
Yeah.
And I can just tell that the new Judgment Day is going to get crushed immediately.
Yeah, 100%.
And I just don't think that's the right move because
no.
I don't know what you do with Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan. Like, Liv, she's got the title. There's things, but like, what does Dominic do? What does Carlito do? Where does that leave Finn Balor? Where does that leave JD McDonough? You've got people who they've got some direction by being in the faction, and that it gives them the good rub. I don't know, like, Finn could be gone tomorrow and be just fine, but the other three, like Carlito, would just be. What are they going to do? They're going to put him in a major high profile match?
No.
I mean, Carlito's fantastic, but like, let's face it, like what they've relegated him to is the same thing now they relegated him to 20 years ago, which is walking around being kind of a sarcastic butthole but funny,
right?
And being like, that's cool or that's not cool.
Yeah,
like,
and that's it. But yeah, I mean,
so
I honestly, that's what I was thinking about as well. At first, I had the Bloodline segment only because Solo was not believable as like a big boss right now.
No, Solo's not believable as a big boss, but with Jacob Fatu as his heater, he doesn't necessarily have to be super believable.
No, but I mean, aside from all that, yeah. I just hate that people are hating on the Final Testament because eventually Karrion Kross is going to be world champion. It's going to happen.
And he should be.
Yeah, I mean, and
honestly, my only problem with the Final Testament is I just want NXT Karrion Kross.
Yes.
Like, I want the smoke. I want Scarlett coming out and putting the hourglass down and TikTok, and that was working.
Yes.
Like,
it was perfect.
That was an Undertaker-esque entrance. Like,
and so
you've got to have someone who picks that up, and like maybe they have that a little bit with the Wyatt Six, but I'm sorry, but like Bo Dallas ain't the Undertaker. He ain't Bray Wyatt.
No.
Karrion Kross can be that character. Like, he can be that long, slow entrance. The minute that it goes black and you see and you hear and the smoke goes on.
Yep.
Like, he could be that if you book him to be that. And that's what it looked like he was being booked to do. But then, of course, he went to Raw and Vince McMahon put a gladiator outfit on him.
Stupid.
And then he left, and then he came back, and I'm not saying the hair hurt him, but the longer your hair, the less intimidating you are.
Yeah.
Like,
agreed.
Like, this is coming from a Shawn Michaels mark. When AJ Styles had short hair, he was much more intimidating than when he came to WWE and had soccer mom hair.
Yeah, agreed. But yeah, I mean, hopefully the Final Testament picks up some momentum in the next weeks or so after we see the implosion of the New Day, and hopefully we'll see a world title on Karrion Kross at some point. But anyway, guys, that's been our episode for this week. Before we talk about our upcoming events and talk about everything about our social media, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but we got merch. We've got shirts now. You can see this nice little shirt right here. It's got our 5-Star Jobbers logo on it in black, and then you can see right here on the chesticles of John right here, he's got the new 5-Star Jobbers shirt with the tagline, "Keep it at 5 stars."
It's slimming. I look way big. I look way bigger than this.
I'll let you guys decide. But anyway, if you want to get some of these shirts and you want to know where to get them, you can email us. We'll put our email down below here. It's the5starjobbers@gmail.com, or message us on Facebook. Reach out to us on social media. We'll send it to you. You just send us your contact information, and we'll mail it out to you for pre-orders and anything. And there's going to be more merch to come. Just stay tuned for it. But anyway, guys, this has been our episode for this week. Thank you for listening, and thank you for watching. If you haven't already, and I don't understand why you wouldn't have already, go and follow us on social media. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You can see all of our commentary content, and you can see all of our Season 2 episodes on our YouTube channel. But we want to remind you of the upcoming events that are going to be going on. One more time. I'm going to do a speed read-through. You ready for this? August 25th, Atomic Legacy Wrestling. We wear the crown at the Space Coast Convention Center in Cocoa, Florida. VIP is at $435. General admission is at $455. The showtime is at $525. Don't miss out on that. August 31st, Kraken presents Thunderslam, Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College in Tifton, Georgia. Doors open at 6. Bell time is at 7. Also happening August 31st, The Guardians Legacy presents Collision at the Crossroads at the W.R. Toller K-8 School Gymnasium in Bristol, Florida. Doors open at 6. Bell time is at 7. Go to hrw.theguardianslegacy.com for more information on tickets. September 7th, Hope Championship Wrestling at the Trinity's Christian School in Griffin, Georgia. It's free admission. For reserved seating, you can contact 678-588-0508. Also, September 7th, The Guardians Legacy presents second time around at the Rosenwald High School Gym in Panama City, Florida. Doors open at 6. Bell time is at 7. Contact or go to the website www.theguardianslegacy.com for tickets and information. Also, September 14th, DCCW presents Burgers and Brawls 10, celebrating their 10th year anniversary as a professional wrestling company in the area of McClenny at the Baker County Fairgrounds in McClenny, Florida. Doors open at 5:30. Bell time is at 6:30. For advanced tickets, contact 904-697-7167. How'd I do?
If that was your idea of brief, I feel bad for your wife.
Whatever. But anyway, guys, like we always say, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. But as always, keep it 5 stars.